Okay, so how many of them have heard about anthropic AI? Okay, so what is that?
Cloud.
Claude. Okay, fine. What is the difference of existing AI and this anthropic? Better research. That is fine. Anything apart from that? Okay. See, how many of them have known something about share market? What is share market? So how the companies are doing? No, little bit. Fine. So I think you people have seen for the last 5 days, IT stocks is still falling down like nothing. Correct? Right? Like 2,000, 3,000 points around. All because of this anthropic AI. Okay, yeah. So I think you people have heard about. So all companies are replacing AI, right? Suppose in old now existing days. So we had an interaction with the Nokia people, right? So I requested Nokia people to give internship for our students, those who are doing under 5G project. They said yes. Then again I asked them, so after internship you will be providing job for them, like that I asked. Then they explained detailedly what is happening inside now. What is happening here is, last year they have 20 in a team, okay? So all 20 will be leading, one will be leading the 20. So whatever the product they are going to manufacture, it will be comes in a quarterly basis. That is every 3 months they are launching the product. So either it is related to 5G RAN or Wi-Fi, okay? So router, like this they are producing this. So what happened is, now the company have insisted to reduce the strength from 20 to 5. One admin, okay, and 5 is enough, and those 5 has to work on developing the AI, not on the project. If you develop that AI, the AI will do the project, they will produce the result. Say for an example, like new technology is coming and new upgrade is coming for AI. That anthropic AI, so what is this anthropic AI is, this works particularly on cloud. Okay, so if you want to change anything, you don't want to go for the physical server network and you want to change, you can go to the cloud, simply logging in your system, you can change, everything will get modified. That is one thing. And second thing is, how many of them knows about agentic AI? No. That is very important now. See, why I am telling this thing is because next year you are going for final year. No developer jobs, no coding, testing, nothing hereafter. If you are good in Python, if you are good in Java, developer, nothing works out. If you are good in cloud, okay, like if you have a certification in AWS, Amazon Web Service, I hope so, and Google also one cloud certification course is there. Amazon, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, they are the 3 largest providers. Okay, 70% of cloud app will be provided by only these 3 companies only. Right? The remaining 30% is the people, those are taking locally and they are storing the database in a server. But all these 70% will be working on it. So if you do certification in any of the course, that will be a good idea to go enter into IT. So don't go for this developing, testing, the era is gone. Okay, simply focus on cloud. Cloud is the future now. So cloud is nowhere related to our subject, but I'm just telling. Okay, so this is the scenario. And second thing is, how many of them, agentic AI, no idea. The upgrade version of AI is your agentic AI. Okay, so agentic AI is nothing but, so what AI will do actually, simply in layman terms, just explain what AI will do. we are going to train the model. Okay, so once it is trained, automatically based on the input it will give the output. Correct? So that is a simple AI. By using your machine learning, you are training the system. That is your AI. Agentic AI, based on the next upgradation, the system itself modifying and healing itself, and they will be going to the next up. Say for an example, Windows 11 is there, correct? Next Windows 12 is coming now. Automatically agentic AI will develop those 12 and it will be moved to the next step. Okay, and this agentic AI happened, established 2 years ago, and now before 3 days, okay, one interesting topic came that we can call it as Moltebook. If you have time after that, you can go and search. So that is the hottest topic now. MOLTE, Moltebook. So Moltebook is nothing but it's like a Facebook. How we people interact using Facebook, right? I want to communicate with other people, those who are sitting in other countries or other areas. We are interacting with Facebook, correct? Likewise, agentic AI will interact with other agentic AI with via this Moltebook. Like there is access restriction for humans. Okay, so humans will generate agentic AI. The generated agentic AI will have the access to log into the Moltebook, but humans cannot have this access to enter into that Moltebook. Now you are able to understand. Just imagine. Okay, so you have 4 companies. One is Nokia, one is Samsung, one is Ericsson, another one is TCS. Okay, so Nokia is having one agentic AI, Samsung is having another agentic AI, and Microsoft is having another agentic AI. 3 companies is there. Okay, now these companies, they have introduced this agentic AI, right? So what is this agentic AI? The system can upgrade itself based on the environment, right? Now what happened is, suppose 1, 2 and 3, these 3 companies wants to communicate. Okay, they will tell this agentic AI to communicate with other agentic AIs. Like you have a team, you have one assistant, that assistant is your agentic AI. But if you want to enter into this Moltebook, the human, the access is restricted. You cannot enter it. Only the agentic AI can do. Second thing is, one person who is working in a company, okay, he is having this agentic AI, late night. Okay, so what happened is, he gave this agentic AI is having access, right? So around 9 to 10 p.m. Okay, so what happened is, this agentic AI have entered into the Moltebook and they have interacted with other agentic AI which is present in the Moltebook overnight. Okay, so morning at 5 o'clock he woke up and see the notification. Between that, these agentic AIs have developed one app. Okay, that app is Reforestation something, I don't know exactly, you can search it in net. Okay, so that app is nothing but these agentic AI has created one religion based on that. Able to understand? So one religion means, like we have different religions like Hindu, Muslim and this thing. So particular agentic AI will have one religion and particular agentic AI will have another religion. So what it will do is, it will talk to themselves and it will create a superficial thing. Like what human is using rupee, we can use Bitcoin as for transaction. So like these kind of talks is going on between these agentic AIs without human intervention. Right? So this is happening now. Okay, you can go and search it in net. Second thing, they are going to develop a new language which cannot be understood by humans. So humans can know English, some basic languages, but we don't know that machine languages, right? So machine wants to connect with each other with machine languages. So that is going to happen. That will create between AI agents. Now you see how the world is going on with this AI. Within 2 to 3 years, surely the workforce will get reduced based on developing, testing, anything. If you are working on developing in AI, like agentic AI version 2, 3, upgrading this, you have a future. And if you are working on cloud, that is also you have a future. And third thing is cyber security is one of the hottest topic now. Why? Because even though this AI is developing, but cyber security is a big threat. Why? Because AI cannot do this cyber security part. Sometimes it fails. So if you do certification in cyber security, that is a good option, because nowadays more and more AIs are there. So AIs can create problems. So you authentication problems, everything is there. That has to be eradicated by using this cyber security. Okay, so that is one hard important topics. So if you want to focus on this, moving to the final year, just do these 3 certifications in any of these topics. Right? Fine. And nowadays don't tell that I know Python, I know Java. So this won't works. Right? And that's what the paradigm is shifting from CSE to ECE now. Right? So ECE is a evergreen field. Right? Why? Because I told you, you have both electronics part, communication part is there. But CSE, simply if you are doing coding, you can go sit in a company, software company, as a developer you will get money, goes off. Okay, everything is in the era. So fast, for the past 10 to 15 years, your CSE booms. Okay, and now this chip manufacturing semiconductor industry is growing. How this AI works? With chips, GPUs, correct? You need more GPUs to generate this kind of AIs, right? So if you need more GPUs, you have to work on chip systems. So mainly this Qualcomm, Nvidia, they are working on this chips, right? Okay. Even if you go for 5G, this 5G also works on your GPUs, right? Because we need more power. More power will be generated by the chips. So semiconductor industry, telecommunication industry, this is also booming. So this is one great thing that you people have into the EC domain. Earlier, if you are in CSE, they will be enjoying. Okay, I am in CSE, so surely I'll get job in IT. Now you go out and you can check. Right? Fine. Okay. Now we'll come to the topic. Right. And this is most important topic, 5G network architecture. Right? So, as I told you earlier, once we move to the 5G architecture, then it's easy for you to understand what is what. Right? Because we don't know, simply we know what is 5G, 5G, 5G. Okay, so 5G is your 5th generation that everyone knows. So what we are using inside that 5G, okay, that we are going to see deeply now. Right, so how your call flow will be? Give me a pen. Right, listen. Listen. You know, correct? What is your user equipment? User equipment simply your mobile or any sensors, okay, or any other, your laptop, okay, that is your user equipment here. And here is your base station, correct? And this is your core network. So now what we are going to do is we are going to focus on this core network, because we have seen how your signal is transmitted from UE to base station. Okay, from base station it is moved to core network. This is fronthaul, and from this from core network to UE is your backhaul. Right? Now we take this base station. What is the base station of 5G network? What name we will call it as? G node B. Okay, G node B. G node B is nothing but next generation node B. Okay, so B is your base station, G is your next generation. Okay, right. Now, and what is the RAN we are using here? What is the RAN? 5G RAN. So just imagine a mobile who is going to send the signal. That signal is your RAN signal. Okay, that RAN signal will goes to the base station. This base station is your G node B. From this G node B, via this RAN signal, it will goes to the core network. So now see, simply I am telling that core network. What is that core network? See, you can imagine these two parts, right? Correct? So mobile phone, you can imagine you have a mobile phone real time scenario. Okay, you have a mobile phone and base station, your tower. Correct? Your tower, all the equipments which is equipped with the tower. Okay, so if you go outside, you can see at the top of the tower, so many antennas will be there. One is box kind of things, one is rectangular kind of thing. Okay, so that is based on different service provider. Jio will have some other antennas and Airtel will have some other antennas. So whoever giving their results based on your 5G, 4G, that will be equipped with this tower. Right? Okay. Now, so you know what is these things, right? So what is core network of 5G? What technical term we can call it this? What is a core network of 5G? What is core network of 4G? EPC, Evolved Packet Core, right? Then RAN? Utron. 4.5? EUTRON. Okay, so now comes to 5G. 5G core network, it's 5G NR. Okay, so when it comes to 5G, all terms which is related to 5G only. Simply, except the base station. Base station is G node B. Other things 5G RAN, 5G core network. Okay, so everything will gives the names of 5G. Right? Okay. Now, right. First to see this picture. Like blah blah blah, I have written something here. Okay. What is the main difference when we are using 4G network and 5G network? Like we have seen in CUPS architecture. What is CUPS? So this will come under 5G enablers, correct? Correct? Yes or no? Okay. Under this, one of the topic is your CUPS architecture. What is CUPS? CUPS.
Control plane and user plane separation.
Good. Control plane, user plane separation. Control plane, user plane separation only in 5G networks. It is not there in 4G networks. Right? What is the function of control plane? One is call management, control traffic. Then whatever call initiation will be there, that will come under control plane. User plane, simply forward the data, either it is voice or data network, which goes from your user equipment to the external network. Right? So this facility is not available in 4G networks. Both will be present in a core network. Okay, so that will lead to latency. Why this will lead to latency? Because these two separate part is there, right? So whatever the signal comes inside, it will split into whether it is data, it will directly goes to the user plane. If it is a traffic, it will directly goes to the control plane, right? But in case of 4G network, what happens is, if it comes into the core network, first it will decide whether it is traffic or it is user data. Second, it will classify it, and third, it will forward the data based on the customer needs. So it requires, so there is a latency in there, right? So between your user equipment and the external data. So in order to avoid that, they are splitting into two. Right? Can anyone tell me what is in 2G GSM architecture? Okay, so what is the data? What is the network element which is used to store your database? Which is present in MSC.
Register.
Huh? Which is used to store the permanent database. Okay, so when it comes to the MSC, that is your core network there. So what are the network elements which is present in 2G? HLR, VLR, MSC is your center part, then AUC. Correct? So HLR is your,
Home location.
okay, so what it contains? Permanent database of a particular subscriber. So VLR is your temporary database. Correct? So when it goes to roaming, automatically it will switch over to VLR. Likewise, okay, in 4G network we have HSS. Simply they are replacing only the network elements in the core network. In order to store the database of a particular subscriber, there it needs 2G, it is HLR. 4G, it is HSS, and 5G, it is UDM. Okay, yeah? Able to understand? So this will contains the database of a particular subscriber. So that means if a subscriber wants to access the core network, okay, so what it will do is from user equipment, it will goes to the base station. From the base station, it will goes to this core network. Okay, to this core network, or first it will goes and check in the UDM. Okay, so what this UDM will do is, it will check whether the particular subscriber is registered in the network. Say for an example, if you are using Jio, right? If you are a Jio customer, your database is stored in UDM, right? So if you are accessing the core network, automatically it will find you belongs to which service provider. Okay, how it can find? Using this UDM. Correct? It will take the data from the UDM and check this particular subscriber belongs to Jio network. Right? So you can see how many network. See, this is simply called as network elements, which is present inside the core network. Right? But in case of 2G and 4G, you compare 4G. I didn't show the architecture, but 2G you just compare how many network elements is present when it comparing 2G and 5G here. So 2G you have only 3 to 4 components, right? HLR, VLR, AUC, and your MSC. Just consider because it is the heart of the system. But you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 8 network element which is present inside this 5G core network. So that is the evolution. Okay, so 2G they are focusing only on voice data, a part of data network which is provided. So we don't need that much of network element is there. Then when it comes to 5G, we have 3 things. One is for voice calling, another is simply data network, and third is your AR, VR, live video streaming. So we are moving to the next generation, right? So we need that much of network elements to perform those applications, right? Able to understand? Fine. Okay. Now, so before going to that, I'll tell you what is this part. Okay. So first is AMF. Okay. See, simply write this: AMF, SMF, AUSF, NEF, NRF, PCF, UDM. Okay, UE, RAN, UPF, data network. I'll tell you each and every network elements detail. Okay, so that you people can imagine. So if your call is initiated from your user end, how your call is transferred to the base station. From the base station, how your call is transferred to your core network. to the core network, how your call is transferred to the external data network. Right. So just note down these terms. Right. See, first is AMF. Correct? So where it is AMF in your diagram, you just see. Just simply see that. Whatever the terms I am telling, just write it as one. Simply write it as one. Okay, for your better understanding. Okay, so access and mobility management function, AMF. Okay, and second is session management function, that is SMF. Okay, and third is user plane function, UPF. So that means AMF is given first priority and the session SMF is given second priority, UPF is given third priority, and UDM, Unified Data Management, okay, UDM fourth, and fifth policy control function, PCF. And next is network slice selection function, NSSF. The last one is application function, AF. Once completed, tell me. Right. Okay. So this is called service-based architecture. You have two types of architecture. One is service-based architecture. Another one is reference point architecture. Okay. So most widely used is your service-based architecture. That is SBA. Okay. Shortly called as SBA. So two types of architecture: reference architecture, service-based architecture. Okay. So what is the difference? Why most of the people is using this service-based architecture in order that with the reference-based architecture. Okay. So actually, reference-based architecture is an older technique. Okay. So what happened is between these connections, they will have an interface to connect between UE and AMF. Say for example, I want to connect with AMF to NEF or AMF to NRF. So I need an interface to connect between these. So interface is nothing but air interface. That means user equipment, and this is your base station. Okay, if I want to connect from user equipment to the base station, so my interface, air interface is N1. Okay, so this interface which is used to connect AE and base station. So this will act as an intermediate which is used to connect between these. So for all these network elements wants to connect with any other network element, they have to use this what? Interface, network interface. This is called reference architecture. But in case of service-based architecture, we don't have such options, so there is no need to use any interfaces. They are using API for communication between these services. I think those who know some basics about computer science, you know what is API. Application Programming Interface. Okay, suppose if I want to connect AMF to NEF. Okay, so what will happen is for reference-based architecture, this is N6, but this is not exact number. I am just giving an example. Okay, so N6 wants, is the interface which is used to connect between AMF and NEF. But in case of service-based architecture, we are using API programming. That is application programming interface. So what this programming interface will do is, it will initiate from the AMF, it will send an initiation call, that is call request. Then from NEF, it will send a response. So once acknowledgement is from NEF to AMF, automatically this will get connected. Okay, so for the use of API, which is used to send a request response, once the request response is completed, your this connection gets established. This connection means the connection between AMF and NEF gets established. So this is done by using programming. That is called as API programming. Right? So this is used in service-based architecture. But in case of reference point architecture, we have to use interface. Like if you want to connect between these two N6, if I want to connect from SMF to NRF, they have interface N8. Okay, so you have to provide interface between each network elements to communicate between each other. Okay, so it is cost effective. In order that they overcome, they are going for service-based architecture. So this is a simply programming by giving request response between those network elements for connection establishment. Right. So they are going for service-based architecture, shortly called as SBA. Are you able to understand why they are going for service-based architecture? Okay, I can show this reference-based architecture, but you people will get confused. Okay, because there is a lot of interfaces to show between this. So simply go for that service-based architecture. If time permits, I will show you how the reference point architecture looks like. Right? Okay. Now you simply understand how this works. Okay. Right. So, what is the main functions? That is main features when compares 4G and 5G here. One main advantage is splitting your control plane and user plane. Correct? When compared with 4 to 5G. So 4G, all these components which is present in a given one core network. Correct? So core network, there you have, instead of these network elements, you have MME. Like you have seen MSC, correct? In 2G. Correct? So MSC, what are the elements which is present in 2G? MSC, HLR, VLR, AUC. There MSC. Here, in 4G network, they are using MME. Okay, mobility management entity. Okay, that is used to store your database of that will give the access. There they are using AUC, correct? Here 4G they are using MME, and 5G instead that they are using AMF. So that is the difference. Okay, 2G AUC authentication purpose, 4G MME, okay, for authentication purpose, 5G AMF. Okay, and two more things which is present in 4G. One is PDN gateway, another one is SG gateway. Okay, so I don't want to go deeper into that 4G architecture, right? So we'll see this 5G architecture. If someone asks in your interview questions, so what is the difference in core architecture between 4G and 5G means? There they are using MME as an access mobility function. Here they are using AMF as an access mobility function. Okay, and second thing is, in 4G there is no separation of control plane and user plane. In 5G there is a separation of user plane and control plane. Okay, so this is one basic question you can expect. Okay, suppose if you go for an interview sitting in that, you know 5G, right? You said, I know, I am very much interested in 5G. No? This is the first two basic questions they will ask. Why you are moving from 4G to 5G? What is the advantage? Okay, right. Next. So here, I just imagine, okay. here user equipment 1. Okay, yeah. Here base station. Able to understand? Okay. From user equipment to base station, using RAN signal it moves. Correct. From base station to this is your entire core network. Able to understand? With the brilliant. Okay. This whole diagram will be one core network. Right? So from user equipment, your RAN signal goes to this. Okay, base station. From the base station, it will go to the entire this whole core network. Correct? Now you will be receiving bills, right? For Jio, using this much of this monthly plan 200. If you are using this much of data, it is 300. Okay, for 1 year it is validity, it is 3500 something, right? So all the details which will be given by PCF. Okay, yeah. All those billing details will be provided by PCF. This PCF where it is present, this is the one of the network element which is present in the core network of your subscriber service provider. Jio, they will go to this PCF. Whatever the modification they are going to do, they will do in the PCF, and this PCF will goes back to your base station and it will goes back to your. Just imagine in a real time scenario. So what I am telling, just imagine. Okay, fine. Okay. Now your call is initiated from UE, user equipment mobile phone. A mobile phone who is going to access your 5G network. So I am the person, I am going to access your 5G Jio. Okay, I am going to call a person who is sitting in the another network via Jio. Okay, that is 5G network. So how this will take place? Just imagine. So the call initiation from myself, which is goes to the base station, nearby base station. You have more base station is there, so which is provided to yours. Yours is Jio, means it will go to this Jio base station, and from this it will go to your core network. Okay, so these kind of blocks, all these process will be done within 1 millisecond. So if you are calling, your ring is automatically going, right? The call initiation, that is we can call it as call initiation. Okay, so after 2 to 3 ringings, okay, you will be able to pick the call. So all these will be done in this 1 milliseconds, all this process. Okay, so now what will happen is, it will start initiation, it will goes to first AMR. Okay, from where to where? User equipment, base station. From base station, first it will goes to AMR. Okay, that means first it will go to control plane. Okay, you have 2 planes, right? First the call will be goes to this AMF. So what is AMF? What it will do? Manages registration, mobility and session management for devices. That means once it goes to the AMF, this AMF will send this message to a SMF. Okay, what type of message? Simply understand. Now your call is okay, from base station to AMF. This AMF will check the particular subscriber is a valid subscriber or not. Okay, whether myself is registered in the Jio network or not, that will be examined by this AMF. Once it is examined, okay, it will send this message to SMF. What this message? Okay, I am verifying these people. Okay, whether this person location database which is present in Potheri area, correct? He is having this entire database in Potheri area. He is a registered person in Potheri area. Okay, so fine. So what you can do is SMF. You just create a session, okay, between your user equipment and your SMF. That means this SMF, what it will do? Are you able to see? First SMF, sorry AMF, this AMF will send a message. What message it will send to AMF? AMF to SMF? After your authentication process is done, okay, so this SMF will create a data path session. Are you able to understand? That means your person is registered in this particular area of Jio network, okay, so he is a valid user. Now you can establish a path to transfer the data or voice between your user equipment to external network. That information will be sent to SMF. SMF, what it will do? It will create a tunnel. Okay, from where to where? It will create a tunnel directly to the user plane. Are you able to understand? What is the function of user plane?
Just directly.
Simply forward your data or voice from your user equipment to your data network. Correct? Well, that is the function of this. Now what happened is, once AMF is verified, okay, then the information is sent to SMF. SMF will create a bridge. Okay, so SMF will create a bridge between where to where? User equipment via UPF, it will reach the data network. Data network is nothing but the person who is having this application. Say for an example, I want data streaming, I want video call, video live streaming. So that is your customer needs data network. Right? Now you know three functions of network elements. Correct? Yes or no? First AMF is sending message to SMF. Then this SMF will create a tunnel between your user equipment directly to the data plane, to the data network. Correct? Now, what is the purpose of using this PCF, UDM, AUSF, NEF, NRF? Right? Now we'll see one by one. So, first access is over. Correct? Next session is over. Third user plane is over. Right? So, handles the data path routing to the internet. That is what I said, right? Then fourth is unified data management. That is what I call in 2G it is HLR, in 4G it is 4G I didn't say anything. Okay, so leave that 4G. 5G which is UDM, that is unified data management. So what it contains? It contains the profile of all the profile of Jio network. Okay, say for an example, Venkat and two more peoples in the third bench. Okay, they are going to access this network. First, what the AMF will do, it will first give preference to Venkat. Okay, so that information via AMF it will check to the UDM. Okay, AMF, which is nothing but it will check whether the given subscriber is registered with the UDM or not. Correct? UDM contains the whole database of your Jio network. Okay, whoever having Jio SIM card, those information will be stored in UDM. Right? So how the call is moved from user equipment via AMF, it will go and check in the UDM. Once everything is verified, it will goes to AUSF. Okay, so once this is verified, this is given to SMF, and from the SMF, it will create a tunnel, it will goes like this. What I told earlier, we are not talking about these two parts, and I am telling directly from AMF, it will goes to SMF, then it will create a tunnel, it will goes directly like this, I said, right? Yes or no? Right. Now, when these two blocks comes into the picture, you just imagine, right? So, I am just going to access this core network. Just imagine same like that. Okay. So, it will goes to the base station. I am having a mobile phone. Okay. So, this mobile phone I am going to initiate a call. Where this will goes? So, this is the base station. Suppose think this tripod is your base station. From this mobile phone, it goes to this base station. From this base station, person who's sitting there is a core network. Okay, it will goes to the core network. First, it will goes to AMF. your call will goes to AMF. Okay, so AMF is of two uses. One is session management. Sorry, it manages the mobility. Okay, so how this it manages the mobility means I am moving at a faster rate. Suppose I am in Kotheri area, I am moving at a faster rate. Next I move to the Maremala Nagar area. Right? So when I move from this place to that place, your handover will take place, right? Okay, but not from Kotheri to Maremala Nagar, it will goes for a handover. Why? Because one base station, one tower can extend up to 10 kilometers. Say for an example, from here to Chennai city. Okay, Chennai city Egmore. So I am moving from here to Chennai Egmore. Right? Now your base station gets automatically switched over, right? This is called handover. Right? This handover process will be taken care by AMF. The AMF will tell the particular subscriber is moving at this faster rate from this base station to another base station. He is now switching over to the base station 2. Now if you are moving to apart from there to Andhra, okay, now this AMF will find this particular user is moved to the base station 3. They have the names, okay, of the particular Andhra base stations. Then if you move like this AMF will track from where the subscriber is moving, from where to where. Okay, that one kind of advancement or one kind of good which is we can see in AMF. Correct? Next, this AMF wants to check your database. Where it will check the database of the particular subscriber. This AMF want to check whether you are registered, your permanent database is whether registered in Jio network. Where? UDM, that is Unified Data Management, which contains the subscriber information. So once it is verified there, then what it will do? Once it is verified there, it will goes to AUS function, authentication function. Right? From there, it will give us to session management function. So once the message reaches this SMF, okay, now everything is clear. The person who is accessing the core network, he belongs to Jio network only. So please session SMF, please create a tunnel to forward their packets from user to external network. That information will be given to SMF. Once this information which is given to SMF will create a tunnel, okay, that we can call it as PDU session. Protocol Data Unit Session. Okay, I'll show that in picture, then it's easy for you to understand. So it's like a tube. Okay, based on the customer needs, your service will be provided. I told you, right? What is your service? If you want only call, or if you want data, or if you want live video streaming, that will be provided by a server. Okay, so how this information will be sent to UPF. Okay, so where this kind of service provided will be implemented in UPF. Listen, control plane, okay, it will give instruction or command. Okay, so whatever the service which you are going to implement, that you are going to implement it in UPF only. Right? The commands and instruction will be given in control plane. Whether you are going to implement, that should be done UPF in the data plane. Right? Okay. Are you able to understand? Right. Now, you know what is this AMF, SMF, AUSF, UDM, UPF. Correct? Any doubts in this network elements? The left out is PCF, these three. Right. Now comes to this PCF part. I told you PCF is policy control function. So what it will do? Yes, if I want to change the plan, okay, so what I have to do, I am the Jio service provider, okay, so what I have to do, I have to ask the TROI authority, okay, so I have to send information to TROI authority. I just want to change the plan from suppose for 1 month I am just providing 200 now, Okay, I want to increase the tariff. Okay, because so and so equipments I am using, so my cost is more, so I have to increase the plan. So I have to increase from 200 to 300 rupees for monthly subscription. Okay, so what they will do is they will ask this TRAI authority. Okay, once this TRAI authority verify all the documents that Jio have provided, okay, so this is valid. Okay, what this TRAI will do is, okay, now you can change this policy based on your needs. Like this, authority will be given to the Jio. Now what this Jio will do is, the Jio will go to the core network and it will pick the PCF element, okay, and it will change the policy based. Right. So whatever one month subscription 200 is increased to 300, that changes will be done in this PCF. Okay. So once this PCF is enabled, again the same way. Okay. It goes to this AUSF. From the AUSF, it goes to SMF. This SMF will create a tunnel. Okay, and with this tunnel, the subscriber who is accessing the network, they will comes to know that the tariff is increased now from 200 to 300. Correct? So that information which we are getting from backhaul. Backhaul means from core network to base station and base station to user network, they are going to see it. Right? So that is the function of PCF. Right? Are you able to understand? And two more functions is there. One is NSSF, which is not mentioned here. AUSF तो सुनिए चाहते नहीं है AUSF AMF SMF PF PCF NSSF PF. Okay. See, two more components is missing here. I'll just tell you what is NRF, NUF. Okay, so NRF is nothing but your network repository function. Okay, NEF is nothing but network exposure function. Okay, network repository function is nothing but, suppose SMF wants to connect to NRF. SMF wants to connect to AMF. Correct? SMF wants to communicate with AMF means, okay, first what SMF will do is, it will go and check in the NRF first. Right? NRF is all the network element which is present in the core network that is visible in NRF. So NRF will give or broadcast the images, broadcast the messages to all the network element which is present inside. Whoever is in connection with, say for example, PCF is in connection with SMF, that you can see in NRF. Say for example, UDM is in connection with AUSF, that means both are inactive. Both connection is inactive, that type of information will be seen in NRF. Okay, so once your call is established and your call gets disconnected, okay, what happens is, suppose your next user wants to communicate with again with AMF, it will go through the process like this. Again your NRF will tell the information, now AMF is inactive. Now your call is in AMF. Next, now the call is moved to SMF part. Now this call is moved to PCF part. So whatever the network element which is present inside the core network, which is inactive, that should be represented in NRF. Like simply green light will be enabled in SMF if you go to this NRF. That means your call, your data which is processed in SMF right now. Okay, so that is NRF. NEF is network exposure function. Okay, so what this NEF will do is, it will connect directly to the external third party network. NEF is connected directly to the external third party network, Why it is connected directly to the third party network is based on your services. I want the service of only data or voice call. This kind of information NEF which is given to the external network of your customer. Say simply imagine you have a user here. You want to connect the user at the other end. Okay, right? So or this user wants to get the data from the core network. Simply. Okay, there is no connection between the user 1 and user 2. A user which is at the other end wants to access this network. Right? So how I want only the video streaming, I don't want to call now. I don't want any call type of services right now. Okay, so that information which is sent from this customer directly to NEF. Okay, so NEF will give the information to SMF. So whatever the thing is there, your session has to be established via SMF. Right? So then it will again follow the same steps, create a tunnel, your data will be sent. So for that purpose, NEF is used. Okay, right? This is service-based architecture. Okay, so here, this is bus architecture. What is bus? I think you people will be studying this next semester. That is your computer communication and network security. Okay, that is one of the good networking topics we are going to study detail in it. Right? So bus architecture is nothing but a single bus communication like structure. With that all your network elements is connected. So this is your communication line. That means the information will be given to a single point-to-point line. So whoever wants to access that information will be connected in this, can access the information. Because all, how many network element is there? 7 network element which is connected in a single bus line. Right? So the information is passed in this single bus line. Suppose the SMF wants to communicate or takes the info, means it will connect the link, right? It will extract the information. So it is easy to connect and easy to for data transfer. Right? So this is called bus structure. You have different topologies. Bus, ring, star. Okay. So different topologies is there. So in that buses have so much advancement. Last year. Right? So you know what is this control plane, what is user plane? Correct? Fine. Right? Now what is this application function? AF. So AF is not shown there. Okay. So I told you, right? What is this reference architecture? You see this. I told you, you have 2 types of architecture. One is reference, another one is service based. I told you, right? You see how many interfaces which is present in between those network elements. If you want to connect from UE to AMF, I have to use N1 interface. If I want to connect this RAN to AMF, I have to use N2 interface. Likewise, how many interfaces we are using, you can see in the reference architecture. So it is, when you see this and compared with SBA, it is service-based architecture, it is complex, right? Right? With this diagram itself, because you can use more number of interfaces to connect, establish the connection. But there, how it works, SBA, by using a simple program called API, Application Programming Interface. So simple command which is used to establish a connection between any 2 network elements. That's why they are preferring service-based architecture. But nowadays we are using this service-based architecture only. Okay. First they propose this plan. After that, okay, they have developed to this SBA. So they stick with that. SBA is fine. So they left out this reference pointer. Right. Okay. Right? My question is, I want to give, see, people are expecting more data rates. Okay, people are expecting less latency. I am the company, I am Nokia, I have to give the service to the people. But that should be cost effective for me also, right? So then only your business will grow. Otherwise, based on customer needs, if I give all these, mine is not working, it is not a custom business flow, correct? So that's what I'm asking. See, this is your 5G architecture, okay? I want, or I'm just going to the 6G. See, it is 6G is not enabled now. The architecture is not enabled now. Okay, I'm just giving to you people. You people think of it and tell me what sort of things can take the network elements out and what features can be added inside when it comes to 6G. That should be also, see, you can also be a scientist when you are telling this thing, seriously. Because people are doing research on this, what sort of extra features will be added in the core network to make it a 6G. Right? That is what innovative thinking. Who's having this capability can do. Okay, can do, or you can be a research scientist also. R&D partner. Right? Any one question, sorry, any one answer from each and every one. I just want to ask from each and every one. You just tell me what sort of things to be added to make this as 6G. You know the functions of each and every network elements, right? If you know the functions, and can easily able to tell that if you replace this and we are putting this, you will get it automatically. Hey, reference architecture, this application I didn't tell you, right? AF. But in service-based architecture, no AF is there. But in reference-based architecture, AF is there. AF is nothing but your application function. So application is function is nothing but AR, VR, video streaming, data, call flow that works on this AF. That is, this is closely related to AF. AF means application. So application means your user data. Suppose if you want to go for the AR, VR service means this application factor works. Okay, application function works. So that is simply an explanation of this here. Right. Now, and this part is very important in reference-based architecture, but is not there in SPA architecture. And this I have not told, right? Yes, sir. Correct. NSSF. NSSF. I'll show network slice selection function. This one will go to a 5G lab. I'll show you practically how this process is done. Right? The name itself it specifies network slicing selection function. Right? How many use cases is there in 5G? Huh?
3.
What is that? Correct? 3 year, 3 year. 3 year, 3. Okay, tell me, what is that? EMBB, URLLC, MMTC. Correct? So you know some examples of each and every applications, right? So this NSSF will works on these parts. That means you have a one physical machine, okay? That physical machine will be converted to one virtual machine, and one virtual machine will contain 3 slicing function values. And this NSSF will do this function. Right? Like as I told you, see yesterday the same thing happened. Okay, so I went somewhere. Okay, I have my mobile phone. Okay, with that mobile phone, I'm just watching this Pakistan India match lively. But due to number of subscriber increases, okay, my network is very low. Right, I cannot see that. Okay, there is a lag in that. So during that time, this NSSF works. Right? That means what I can do? I can go to the policy function and I can change the data. Okay, so what data I can change? still it is not happening, right? So if this problem, if this problem occurs, okay, I can go to this network function. So if a call request is made, the call request will directly go to the NSSF. This NSSF will split into 3. So my requirement is video live streaming, okay, without delay. So it will be goes to EMBB services first, right? So what happened is my other 2 services will be cut down. What is that other 2 services? URLLC, MMTC. These 2 services will get cut down, and they are giving priority to EMBB services only, right? So that is that definition or that involvement which is given by NSSF, right? Suppose if I want to do this robotic surgery, I told an example for URLLC, right? So if I want to access this 5G network, means automatically this NSSF will give access to the second URLC, and they will cut down first and third. Okay, so this is not happened in 4G networks, correct? So that is one main function which is done in this 5G networks. So NSSF is network slicing selection function. So when we have time, so day 3, day 4 we have a class. Meaning 5 Day 4 we'll go to 5G lab. Okay, I will show this network slicing function. Before that, I will tell you what is user equipment practically. Okay, which is your base station there, and which is your core network. Okay, and how we can connect all these, and how we'll see the status of all these connections, is whether it is valid, that is active or inactive. Okay, and how we are going to ping. Okay, ping your base station, that is G node B, and your core network or user equipment with core network. How will you ping actually? You know Linux? How many of them know Linux? Linux and commands. Few basic commands is enough. Like I want to ping, or I want to see the file which is there in the directory. Okay. No. At least before coming to this, just know the basic few commands of Linux. Like I want to ping. So ping means I know the IP address of user equipment, and I know the IP address of this G node B. I want to connect the user equipment with G node B. Okay, by using Linux commands. Okay, just know those few commands so that if I explain that, you can able to imagine. Okay, how these 2 user plane and G node B is connected, and how G node B core network is connected. Right? Okay, what is IP address? If I go goes long. So that IP address you will be studying detailing in 7th semester CCNS, Computer Communication Network Security. If possible, I will take this course next time also. Okay, so maybe you will be in different sections, right? This one. You are mixed lab. 5G to I will be handling. I am telling another subject which is related to network, CCNS. That, huh?
It's not elective.
It's core subject. It's a project based course. So there is no end semester for that. Project based course, that is 1 CTs, all others is project. So that's what I said. If you start doing practice in this 5G project as a project, okay, then it is easy for you for the 7th semester CCNS and the next 8th semester major project also. Right? And think that you can also use the same topic there also in networking, because here also your network involves. Right? So I'll just create a GCR sheet and give it back to you. So you people fill on this based on the preference. See, first we'll start with these use case studies. EMBP, URLLC and MMTC. You can surf in net also You can ask ChatGPT, Gemini also. So which is fine. You can pick that and you can insert it. Title. Right? And earlier, for writing paper, okay, there is no AA plagiarism is there. Only plagiarism checker is there. So if your paper is less than 10%, it is fine. Now, you know, right? All AA tools is available. So there is AA plagiarism checker is also available. So that should also be less than 10. Then your paper is finalized. It is correct. When you are submitting to any other journals, right? So if you do use any tool also, you have to make sure, right? Any of them? How many of them have known some tools related to Gemini? I think you have know about Neo Banana, Nano Banana, sorry, Nano Banana, LLM Notebook, and one more VO3. Whoever having Geo 1 year subscription of around 3,600, they will get this free. Gemini Pro. Students free. Okay, all Gemini Pro. Gemini, Gemini.